What's up? I'm Jenny. I'm a 19-year-old college student. I'll be 20 2 weeks from today, actually. I'll be 20. That's weird to think about. Um, I'm starting a video blog based on the fact that I'm sort of a nerd. I just kind of want to do my reactions to movies and books. I read a lot. I read constantly, and that's what this video will be. My reaction to a book. I read all the time, of course. I know I mentioned that. I am also a major comic book nerd. Like, comic book movies, they're my thing. And I used to be really secretive about that, but I cannot control it any longer. That's how weird I am. I have a blog, cougarontheprowl.tumblr.com, if you're interested in seeing what kind of manic stuff I reblog all the time. But basically, just ignore the fact that I'm not technologically savvy and I can't make my channel look amazing. I just don't have that kind of talent. And also, please just ignore my name, my channel name. I really don't want to have more than one YouTube account, and I created this YouTube 6 years ago when I was a pretty rabid fan of Pirates of the Caribbean and Superman. And I'm really ashamed of the name now at this point in time. But hopefully you'll just be able to ignore it. But anyway, like I said, today I just want to review a book. This is a book I've already read, actually. Read it a couple of years ago. And when I was still in high school, maybe 2010? I don't know. It's called Beautiful Creatures, and I'm in the middle of reading it for a second time, but I remember most of it. I'm rereading it because a movie's coming out in February based on it, which I'm really excited about. I see people complaining all the time about the trailer, about how all these people don't look right. It doesn't bother me. I think the casting decisions for the movies are pretty awesome. Ethan, spot on. Exactly how I imagined him. Maybe a little short, but whatever. Anyways, basically, this book is really good. I give it 4 stars out of 5. There are very few flaws. I am really excited that it's being made into a movie because it's that good. I'm really, really pumped about reading the next one. This book is so good. It really kind of hypes you up. It readies you for the sequel. You are ready for this series. You want everyone to read them. You want to tell everybody about them. The characters are just ready-made to make you fall in love with them. That's how wonderful they are. Except for Lena. Lena Duquesne, her catchphrase should be, "You wouldn't understand." Look, we get it. We get that we don't understand you. We get that you're odd, okay? Look, I have a hard time liking the main female characters in YA novels all the time, though. Typically, people can make them very dumb, like, or they make them exactly the way they make Lena, incredibly unlikable. And and it's not to say that I don't like Lena's character, because I think that the take on Beautiful Creatures is really amazing. Like, the girl is the special one. She's always known she's special. She's not, like, stumbling upon this late in her teenage years and she's thinking, why don't I fit in? Why is all of this happening to me? It's not Mortal Instruments. It's not Twilight. I don't want anybody telling anybody that that's what they are. That's not. Beautiful Creatures is actually incredibly unique among YA novels. First of all, it's told from the perspective of the dude. It's first person, from the dude's point of view. I cannot stress to you how odd that is, and that is definitely one of the pros. Ethan, as a main character, really is perfect. He's endearing, he's sweet, you fall in love with him, you really root for him to get the girl. I care about where the relationship is going, and I cannot stress to you how weird that is for me. I typically think the romances in books weigh the story down. I'm there for the action. I'm there for the historical perspective, which this book carries very, very well. I would recommend it just for that alone. And also, the romances in YA novels tend to move toward the cheesy side very fast, very easily. This relationship, I was rooting for. I'm sitting there looking at Ethan like, please, just get with her. Just do it. You know, we are ready for you. That's pro number one. Pro number one is Ethan. And then pro number two is the relationship. Pro number three is the character of Ridley. Oh my God, she is so great. She is probably one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. And I know that that's weird. I haven't read the rest of the series. I just wasn't motivated to when I finished the book the first time. I don't know why, because the book is incredibly great and the series is incredibly great. Of course, I may have read it at a time where the second book wasn't out. That happens to me a lot. That happens to me an awful lot. But as far as I hear, Ridley only gets better. She is so fantastic. I typically go for the mean people too, though. The mean characters are the ones that draw me in. They're the ones I get attached to. They're the ones I almost always like the best. And Ridley delivers on so many fronts. She's got enough in her to make you realize that she was nice at one point in her life, and then she's got enough in her to make you think, she really is a bad apple. She really is dark. And you're just sitting there thinking, Ridley, why can't you carry the book? Why don't you have a book of your own? At least that's the way I think, because I think Ridley is fantastic. Pro number 4 happens to be the fact that this book actually is what it says it is, a Southern Gothic. I'm actually from down here in the South, and let me tell you that I get so mad when I read stuff that's supposedly going to be a Southern Gothic, and the authors make it so clear they've never even been anywhere near the South. They want to give us some sort of fake dialect. They want to say, oh, blah, 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 like they haven't done their research on the area they're in. These people, the writers, Stoll and Garcia, clearly did. They clearly did their research. They are, the way people talk, the dialect I was fine with, because that is the way people talk down here. They'd clearly done research into the area. They knew what real rivers, what real streets, and all this other stuff was. And really, their handle on the flashbacks to the Civil War, they were pretty fantastic. They were some of the more well-written sort of historical flashbacks that you get in YA novels. Those typically aren't well-researched, and I could tell that these people had been through it. Also, there were times when they made it clear that they didn't exactly know what they were talking about the whole way through, but, I didn't care. The story carried it. And the way they handle magic, pro number 5, magic. They handle magic in a very unique way. I like the idea that you don't get to choose if you're light or dark. That's something that just happens to you. You don't get to choose it for yourself. That's unique. That's something I like. I also really like the name casters. I think that that's cool. I'm into that. And I also think that I seem to really, really like the mansion. I really like Ravenwood. I don't know why, but I feel like I can picture it. I can picture the fact that it changes every time Ethan goes into it. I really have got it in my head. But basically, the book does scare you. Like, in a way, it's very creepy. You're getting to yourself and you're thinking, oh my God, this girl really doesn't get to choose about her life. This is freaky. And I don't know why, but witches have always they are sort of the freakiest things to me ever since I read The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. And Anne Rice is my favorite author, by the way. But The Witching Hour will scare you to death. I don't know what it is about it, but it will scare you to death. And every time I read a book about witches in any sort of capacity, casters in this one, but it just ends up freaking me out. And I like that. And like I said, being a Southern Gothic is not a misnomer for beautiful creatures. That's exactly what it is. I'm also, pros. It's well written. I like that the book's thick. I like that the book is thick. I like to be able to get my money's worth. If I pay $10 for a book, I want it to be thick. Whoop-de-doo. All of the books in this series are thick. You're going to be reading them, and you're going to want to read them. Now for the cons. Con number 1, basically, I don't like the fact that there isn't a whole lot of dialogue. And the dialogue that is there is short, I mean, they tell you what you need to know, but that's all you're getting out of it. And dialogue, I usually think carries the book. If the book wasn't in first person, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Like, con number 2 is Lena. Like I said, I just don't find her likable. And that's, not a knock against her. I mean, it's fine if you want to be unlikable. And I really do like the fact that she's the special one and, it's not, like I said, she knew about it. She knew that something was going to happen to her at this phase in her life. And like I said, I care for the relationship between her and Ethan. But other than that, Lena gets on my nerves. You wouldn't understand this. Why don't you give Ethan a chance to understand it? He might actually be able to help you. Okay, calm down. But really, that's it. The 2 cons I have. The length of the dialogue, which there barely is any. And then, of course, her. And I can get past that. But like I said, I'm reading this in preparation for the movie, and the new trailer came out last week. It's what inspired me to do it right now. I am so pumped. I am so excited. It looks great. It really does. It's what I imagined it to be. Like, they couldn't have found a dude for Ethan better. I'm sorry, but they couldn't have. I see a lot of complaining about the casting for everybody else. I mean, you know what? Movies are never going to be the books. You're always going to have the book. So, whatever. But I hope that y'all liked this. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing this whether people watch me or not. But you can comment. You can leave me a message. And actually, if you want to give me some book recommendations, I'll totally take them. So, for now, bye!